Welcome back to the C Sharp Full Beginner course. So far, you've learned what C Sharp is, how variables work, how to change them, how to take user input, and how to make decisions using if statements. But here's the thing. Real programs almost never make just one decision. They make multiple decisions, often at the same time. And if you don't know how to control that logic properly, your code quickly becomes messy, confusing, and hard to manage. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to write smarter decision-making logic using else, if statements, logical operators, and multiple conditions. By the end of this video, you'll be thinking more like a real programmer, and your code will reflect that. Now we have else, if statements. They allow for multiple decisions. Up until now, you've seen the if statement. An if statement checks a single condition. If that condition is true, the code runs. But what happens if the condition is false and you want to check something else? That's where else if statements come in. Else if allows your program to test multiple conditions in order, one after another. Your program starts at the top, checks the first condition, and if it fails, moves on to the next one. Only one path will ever run. This keeps your logic clean, readable, and predictable. How else if works in practice? A common real-world example is grading systems. Instead of writing many separate if statements, else if lets your program decide between multiple outcomes smoothly. Your program checks the first condition. If that fails, it checks the next. And if none of the conditions are met, a final fallback option runs. This is one of the most important control flow patterns in programming. Now let's talk about logical operators. This is where real power starts. So far, every condition you've written checked only one thing. But real programs often need to check multiple things at once. That's where logical operators come in. Logical operators allow you to combine conditions into a single decision. There are three core logical operators you need to understand. And, or, not. Once you understand these, your decision-making abilities in C# will level up significantly. The and operator. All conditions must be true. The and operator allows you to check multiple conditions at the same time. For the decision to pass, every condition must be true. If even one condition fails, the entire check fails. This is commonly used for things like access control, age checks, and security rules. Think of it as a strict gatekeeper. Everything must be correct before the program allows the action. The or operator. Only one condition is enough. The or operator works differently. Instead of requiring everything to be true, it allows the decision to pass if any one condition is true. This is useful when there are multiple valid ways to reach the same outcome. For example, a user might have access because they are an admin or because they have a special role. Only one needs to be true. This makes your programs more flexible. The not operator. Reversing logic. The not operator flips a condition. True becomes false. False becomes true. This is often used when you want to check for the absence of something. For example, checking that a user is not banned or that a process is not running. It makes your logic more expressive and easier to read when used correctly. Combining else if with logical operators. Now things get really interesting. You can combine else if statements with logical operators to create layered decision trees. Your program can check multiple conditions, grouped logically, and choose the correct path. This is how real applications handle things like age restrictions, permissions, and feature access. Clean structure. Clear intent. No confusión. Real-world scenario. Login and access logic. Think about a login system. Your program might need to check whether a user is logged in. Then check what type of user they are. Then decide what content they should see. This layered logic is exactly what else if statements and logical operators are designed for. Once you understand this, you'll start recognizing these patterns everywhere in real software. What you learned in this lesson. In this lesson, you learned how else if statements allow your program to make multiple decisions. You learned how logical operators let you combine conditions. And you learned how to structure clean, readable logic that scales as your programs grow. In the next episode, we'll look at switch statements and how they can simplify certain types of decision-making even further. If this lesson helped you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.